All right, it's time to start talking about our basic procedures for spot and stain removal. The first one, and perhaps the most important one, is that we need to know what the source of the spot or spill was. In other words, what was spilled onto the carpet or tracked onto the carpet that we're removing. Now, how do you find that out? Well, the first way is you ask. But oftentimes, people don't know where a particular spot came from. They just notice that it suddenly appeared, and people aren't generally volunteering when they spilled something on the carpet. But you need to ask. Even if they give the wrong answer, sometimes it's important to get their opinion of what it is, because their opinion helps set in their mind expectations for whether they think you can get it out. So, if they don't know what it is that they spilled on the carpet, or maybe you've got a pretty good idea that the spilled material that they say they spilled isn't what's on there, then you've got to know how to identify what the spot is. So there's different ways that we can do that. One is that we can use the color of the spot or the proximity to something to help make a reasonable conclusion. For instance, if you have a brown spill near a coffee station, you've got a pretty good chance that it's coffee. If you've got a red spill in a daycare center, pretty good chance it's a children's fruit drink like Kool-Aid or popsicles dripping or something like that. So we can use color and proximity. But what do you do if you just don't know what it is, or you're just trying to get a general guess? Well, the fact is, what we really need to know is whether the spot is more likely to come out with a water-based spotting solution or a solvent-based spotting solution. Now, the first thing to be aware of, if you've already cleaned the carpet and you've got a spot that didn't come out, then there's a pretty good chance it's a solvent-based spotting solution, or a solvent-based spot. Because if it was a water-based spot and it came out with the cleaning, the water-based cleaning. So that's one way that can help. But we can also test the spot itself. All we've got to do is put a little bit of moisture on the spot and make a feel of it. If it's got an oily or sticky feel, then that tells us if it's oily, it's probably a solvent-based spill. If it's sticky, could be syrup or something like that. It's a food-based spill. And if there's no feeling at all, then it's probably going to treat it with a water-based spotting solution. So that's how we identify what the spot is. The next step that we need to take is, once we've identified what we think it is, we've decided what to use for our spotting solution. But one of the things that we always need to do is test the spotting solution on the carpet that we're going to be using. Now, the chances of you using a spotting solution and putting it on a carpet and causing harm to the carpet, say color loss, are very, very low. And if you're cleaning the same carpet in the same facility over and over again, obviously you only need to test it once. But the fact is, it's always a good idea to test. And to do the test for whether you can use that spotting solution is to take a little bit of it, put it on one of your cotton towels, take it and hold it onto the carpet and count to about 5. Once you've reached the count of 5, then you simply take that and you pick it up and you look and you see if there's any color transfer from the carpet to your white towel. If there's not, then we know that this solution is safe to use on this carpet, and we're ready to proceed. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is that most spotting solutions come with a flip top. The flip top is simply a convenient and easy way to apply the spotting solution. But there's another reason why most formulators will use a flip top. We have a tendency to overuse spotting solutions. That can cause us as much harm as it does good. If we overuse our spotting solutions, it can spread the spot out. It can go all the way down to the backing and cause a problem if it's a glue down or a rubber-backed carpet or a carpet tile. So we want to apply the spotting agent sparingly through the flip top. Now that we've got our protective gloves on, we're ready to start with the second of the 3 basic procedures for spot and stain removal. We start with how to apply the spotting solution. If you remember, we talked about the flip top. You don't squirt the solution on. What you want to do is apply it sparingly Okay, now we're applying this spotting solution from the outside in. So we go around the edges of the spot, not inside out. So outside in. Because if we apply the spotting solution in the middle, on some spilled materials, particularly cosmetics, it'll actually dissolve the material and make a small spot even bigger. So we want to apply the solution from the outside to the inside of the spot. Now on some spots, we might have a real sticky material that needs more agitation. To do that more agitation, we use our spotting spatula. And this is where we kind of work the spotting solution into the spilled material. On almost all spots though, we now go to our most important step in spot and stain removal. That's tamping. We take our white cotton absorbent towel and we don't rub. Remember, never rub. We tamp, an up and down motion to work the spotting solution into the spot without over agitating the carpet. Then we check our towel, and as you can see, we have quite a bit of color transfer. So that means we can tamp even some more. Now, if we hadn't gotten any color transfer, we'd stop here and we'd go to the next step. But since we are getting some color transfer, we're going to continue to tamp for another 15 seconds or so. As you can see, we're now getting effective spot removal. The spilled material is transferring into the towel. If we didn't get any transfer into the towel, then that would mean we probably didn't select the right spotting solution, or it's a stain. We'll talk more about what to do with that later. If we are getting effective transfer removal, like we're getting here, then we're ready for the next step, which is to extract the area. Now, there may be occasions when you're asked to do spot and stain removal where you don't have access to an extractor. What do you do at that point? Well, you follow the same procedures that we've been walking through, but when you get to the point that you can see that the spilled material, the spot, is coming out of the carpet, if you don't have an extractor, then the next best thing to do is to get some water and apply it to the spot and then just blot it up. Remember, blot, don't rub, the spot with hot water or warm water and an absorbent towel, and get as much of that the spot itself and the spotting solution out as you can. It's on a very rare occasion that we want to leave the spotting solution behind on the carpet to dry naturally. Almost all the time, we want to use water or an extractor to get as much of the spotting solution out of the carpet.